Good morning, Ms. Sildo. Good morning, Ms. Sigals. Good morning, Mr. Adams.
Good morning, Chair.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Chair, we continue with Mr. Adams' evidence today, his testimony.
Were you done with having Mr. Adams itemize everything that was in his Section 27 referral?
Not yet, Chair.
Right.
There's been a turn of events.
Okay.
So before we get to that, before we continue with that, there is a matter that Mr. Adams wants to address
All right.
about him going to Orlando to go and register the cases in Orlando. He wants to address his version that he gave to us yesterday, and then we'll take on the next development, Chair.
Thank you. Yes, Mr. Adams?
Very good morning to you, Commissioners. Commissioners, there are actually, in actual fact, Advocate, two points that I'd like to address. The one is that I was wrong in my testimony that I called the gentleman that I know as Elvis when I was at the police station. I was close to the police station, and he told me he was at a tire shop and he was expecting me much later. And I said, must I meet you at the police station? And he sent me his location and said, no, come to the tire shop. And we arrived at the police station together. That's the one. The other thing is that after I played in my mind yesterday the testimony of General Sentimule, of Lieutenant General Sentimule of the South African Police Services, I just want to clarify something on my side. It was General Sentimule's testimony at the ad hoc committee that my dockets, well, I need to stop referring to it as my dockets, but the dockets, the case dockets that I had opened at Grand Central, it was her professional opinion that they did not belong in Pretoria. And as a matter of fact, General Sentimule says, and I have the recording of it, that in actual fact, my cases were sabotaged. And that is why I had such a strong opinion on that issue yesterday. So I just wanted that on the record. It was a little bit overwhelming yesterday because I must tell you, I was underprepared yesterday. So please excuse me for that. And I hope that this commission understands what I'm saying in the spirit that I'm saying it. Thank you.
Can I just address the first one so that we can be more detailed in what you're saying? Your evidence was that you went from the airport to Orlando on your own. What you're telling the commission today is that you met Witness G just before you went to Orlando.
Yes, boss.
Okay, correct? To the Orlando police station.
Yes, ma'am.
And in fact, if we are more detailed about it, it was in a maroon Mercedes-Benz Vito that you went with him.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And was it just the two of you?
There was another person with him, ma'am.
And that person was also from crime intelligence?
I do not know.
Okay.
I was under the impression at the time that he worked at Orlando police station. I did not know that the man was from crime intelligence. But when I give you further information later, then you will understand that I now understand that this is a really wide net. But we'll get to that.
Yes, thank you.
Can you just, what happened to your Uber? Because I had understood from yesterday's testimony that you Ubered from the airport to the Orlando police station. What happened to your Uber if you met people at a tire shop and you used the Mercedes-Benz vehicle to go to the Orlando police station?
I asked the Uber to redirect Commissioner Kumalo.
Thank you.
Okay. And then on the second issue about General Sentimule, I know you showed me the clip from her ad hoc testimony. The point that you want to now make is that your stance that General Jacobs had interfered with your dockets comes from General Sentimule's evidence before ad hoc.
It was my opinion at the time that the dockets were in Pretoria unlawfully. I've never ever spoken to General Sentimule, so when she said that at the ad hoc, I felt vindicated because she is in actual fact the custodian of dockets as far as I know. And her testimony, it gave me credibility. So I'm just trying to explain. I'm not trying to argue with you or the commissioners. I'm just trying to put you in the picture as to where my head was and where my opinion is. So if General Sentimule is wrong, then I will accept that. But that is what was said. And that is where I felt vindicated. which is why I walked into this room with such a strong opinion of that issue.
Okay, but now that we have gone through the timeline regarding your complaint to the minister and what happened from the 1st of November, do you accept that General Jacobs was entitled to have the dockets with him because he had been mandated to investigate from the minister's office?
Yes, ma'am. To respond to that, General Jacobs was fully within his right to investigate, but according to the general, not to confiscate the dockets. She uses a very strong word in there, and I'm not saying that that is the case. I'm just saying that my understanding is that General Jacobs should have had access to the dockets, but the dockets should not have been moved.
The original shouldn't have been with him,
Yes,
so he should have had copies.
That is my understanding.
Okay.
Maybe for purposes of our record, you should set out what it is that General Sintumile said.
I'll just ask Ms. Poet to find the recording for me, and then we'll do it. You said...
I can request it quickly. I think I can get it a bit quicker, if the person is online.
It's a clip that you had showed me yesterday, so if you can just maybe forward that clip, yeah. So we'll deal with it later. Thank you. Then if we can short circuit another issue, it's a minor issue, but we're going through it one by one because, like I say, we have come to some compromise on certain things. Is that correct, Mr. Adams?
That is 100% correct, ma'am.
Okay. The other issue is...
Just before you start,
yes.
The statement that you required, I've received it, but I don't know how to send it to you. Can I hand you the phone?
No, we can... can you WhatsApp it to one of the attorneys?
I have nobody's numbers.
Okay. We'll arrange for it.
Thank you.
That is regarding his case against the IDAC officials.
Thank you. Excuse me, Commissioners.
I think it is insofar as you will recall, and we do need to address it, although you and I have discussed it, but we do need to address it in public. It's the issue of the recording of Ms. Ramsami's, the consultation that was held on the 6th of January 2025. You confirmed that you've listened to the entire recording. You have given us certain clippings that you had wanted to play. You're not married to the idea necessarily of playing it, but it's on condition that should there be something that I wish to play and you then would want to play a clipping as well.
I'm actually asking the Commission, after consulting with my attorneys last night, that we will be reporting Ms. Ramsami to the LPC and also be laying criminal charges against her. That we do that. My request is that from my side we do not play the recording because we will be asking for it lawfully because we're going to pursue that. But I want to just correct myself in that it was not Advocate Ramsami that introduced herself as advocate. She was introduced to me as advocate by Chief Investigator Perumel. So I got that little fact mixed up, and I asked the Commission to understand it was almost 2 years ago.
That's fine. And we won't deal with what steps you say you want to take insofar as that is concerned. But insofar as the arrangement that we had regarding the recording, you confirmed that you've listened to the full 2.5 hours.
I have, ma'am.
Yes. And then there are aspects that you had given us, certain sections that you asked to have played. Do you still want those to be played, or is it?
No, ma'am. The 4 or 5 points I asked for, we will play it in court. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. And of course, that doesn't mean that the Commission's evidence leaders won't play what they wanted to, but it may very well be that in engaging with you, you will accept what I'm putting to you, having now heard the recording, and we won't necessarily have to play the recording to corroborate what I...
100%.
Thank you. Then, Chair, the question that you had asked about the Section 27 affidavit. Mr. Adams was given access to the hard copy files yesterday afternoon. He's had a look at what we know as being file 2, page 512 to 516. And I think he wants to address you on that. Shall we go to 512 to 516?
Which file is that again, Advocate?
File 2. Yes, it's the IDAC file. 512 to 516.
I have it, Advocate.
Okay, so you've had an opportunity now to have a look at this document, which on page, if we go to page 516, there's a signature there,
Yes, Advocate.
and you'll see that your surname is spelled incorrectly. Do you see that ADM?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
Advocate.
And the Commissioner of Oaths is Felicia Solomons,
That
which you
is
had
a-
mentioned yesterday, a councillor that you are familiar with, you're friendly with.
Yes, Advocate.
Okay. Now, do you want to address the commissioners on this 512 to 516, your signature, whether that is your signature, and the document itself?
Advocate, these appear to be my signatures, but I cannot believe that I did not mention the PKTT in my section 27. This is one of the reasons why I went to open the case, the statement of which I gave you. I have the case number. I haven't supplied you with that yet. I have the case number right here. This is very concerning. And just to save time also, I have laid a case against Chief
Mr.
Investigator.
Adams, I get it, but let's take it step by step because I know there's other things that we've spoken about that you also want to address in order to place your full version before the Commission on certain other affidavits. Let's just deal with this section 27. You say you would have mentioned the PK, the one that you prepared, because you prepared the section 27 affidavit, that was your evidence, and you only prepared one.
I only prepared one.
Okay.
I mean, I was busy with it. I printed one. I wasn't happy with it. I did it again. But I only gave them one. The other one wasn't even signed.
And it was Mr. Perumal.
It was Mr. Perumal.
And the one that you gave to Mr. Perumal, you are convinced had reference to the PKTT and the forklift expressly.
Ma'am, if you listen to my testimony, I was explicit about the forklift. So I don't understand how it's not in here because I put it in here.
Okay. And you only handed one affidavit to Mr. Perumal in November of 2024.
Only the one affidavit, but in the envelope, there was the minister's email.
And that email is the letter that we looked at yesterday. You're saying it's an email. Was it an email or was it a letter? What are you referring to?
I'm dear my car right now because as you can see, I mean, even in my section 27.
No need for onsok, Dian Makar.
No, I'm saying I'm.
Go to page 57 of file 2, your file 2.
Oh, just a minute. You said you were explicit about the forklift, and you were explicit about PKTT as well, weren't you?
Yes, Commissioner. Right. Excuse me for what I'm about to say.
Yes.
I'm starting to feel like a madman with what these people are saying about my paperwork. That, if you understand, because it's been a while ago, but I know I put that in there. I know, and that is why when Ms. Rantami mentions it. I'm agreeing with her on that. With everything else I disagree, I agree with her on that.
Thank you.
Page?
If you go to your annexures, file 2.
Thank you, madam. Yes, ma'am.
So page 57.
I am on 57.
These are I think it's actually page 58. So there's this email that you sent to the minister.
Yes, ma'am.
Page 58. You will so you recall that there's this email that you sent to the minister.
I do, ma'am.
Then you told us about an email the letter from the minister, which comes on the 11th, dated the 11th. That's in file 9B. So you can take file 9B, page 4004.
Excuse me, just 1 second. 400.
4004 9B.
Yes, ma'am.
This is the letter that we dealt with yesterday from the Minister's office dated 11/11/2024.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, you keep referring to an email, and we understand that to be a covering email, which you said you would share it with us. You still haven't, but we can deal with that. So are you saying that email was in there with this letter, or was it just the letter?
The email was in there. I printed the email.
Okay, not this letter.
No, not this letter.
But you've seen this letter before we dealt with it yesterday.
Yes, I think I've seen this letter before.
Okay. Now, do you have that? Do you have access to that email now?
Ma'am, what I can do, and I can promise the commission this, that as soon as I get to Cape Town, I'll take my laptop to Parliament. I'll print and I'll send you the email, because again, I was asking Sakina this morning, do we have a copy? They said no, but as you and again, it's me and this laptop, but I can have it. I can submit this. That I have that email. I do have that email.
And what did that email say? That was on the 11th of November. Was it also the 11th of November?
Yes.
The day after you sent the email to Mr. Nkabinde?
Yes, ma'am.
And what did that email say?
The email essentially said that this matter has been referred to the IDAC.
Okay. So basically what's set out in this letter?
Essentially, ma'am.
Okay. And it was addressed to you?
It was.
So it said, Dear Honorable Adams.
It was addressed to me.
Okay. And it said this matter is now being, your case dockets, this matter is being referred
Essentially,
to?
it says this matter has now been referred to the IDAC for investigation.
Okay.
Something like that.
And you had included that email in together with your section 27 when you gave the envelope to Mr. Perumal?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Can I put this file away?
Yes, you can put 9B away.
What about us, Ms. Mube?
9B you can put away. I just wanted to show him the letter to establish whether that was what was in his envelope.
What page do you want me now?
I think Commissioner Baloy wanted to ask you something.
You say you will look through your computer to find that email. The affidavit that you say must contain the forklift complaint and the PKTT complaint. Did you type that on your computer?
On my computer, on my desktop, yes.
Okay. Can you check that as well, whether you don't have a copy of that affidavit?
I can check if I saved it. I could possibly have saved it, Commissioner.
Yeah, I would expect you would have saved it.
I will check.
It was an important document.
I will check.
Okay. Even if it's unsigned.
It wouldn't be signed, but
Yes.
if you understand what I'm saying, Commissioner Baloy, it's a referral letter that I'm typing and I'm handing over, and I'm thinking that's the end of it, and then all of this comes out. So,
All right.
Can you please help us understand? You typed it in your laptop,
no, on my desktop,
on your desktop,
Yes.
on your own.
on my own.
You then printed it. And then you went across the hall to Miss Solomon's.
No. I'm struggling with that. Sorry, Commissioner, finish first. Sorry.
No, I'm trying to understand, because at the end of the last page, Miss Solomon's put her stamp there and she commissions the affidavit. So I'm trying to understand whether you went to her with the print document and you signed in her presence. Is that what happened?
I had printed it at my house,
Yes.
and then I either went to my office or to her house. I'm unsure of where it was.
Okay. But you were in her presence?
Yes.
And you signed in her presence and she stamped it?
Yes, Commissioner.
Okay. We'll get to whether it's this one or a different one. I will leave it there for now, because I will allow Ms. Mube to continue with her questions.
So on 512 now, file 2, that's where the affidavit starts.
The way file 2 as well.
File 2, I'm busy with file 2 now, 512. Oh, he's file 2. Yes, you can put his file. Do you have IDAC file 2 exhibit? not your
file two.
annexures, yeah. Page 512.
512.
That's the section 27 affidavit.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you say you typed this affidavit, or what you think is this affidavit, except that you say there was definitely PKTT and forklift mentioned in that affidavit that you typed and signed.
Commissioners, it is unthinkable for me that I would not have put that. It is in there. It is unthinkable. Like, there's many things I have not been sure of because of time lapses. That's not one of them. I'm convinced it was in there.
Now, when we look at the initials on 512, FS, and then there's a signature there, is that also you and Ms. Felicia Solomon's? Does that look like your signature?
Look, I can't speak for her, but that is my signature.
On each page, so 512, 513, 514, 515, and then the last page, 516.
That is my signature.
Okay. And do you recall how many pages yours was? Was it this many pages?
I did not count, and I hate to guess because if I'm one page out, but at this, I didn't count the pages. I did not.
Because I'm looking at the formatting and all of that of this affidavit compared to what you submitted to us, your 64-pager. This is a very formal, it's aligned, it's very different to what you submitted to us on your 64-pager. Do you accept that?
I accept that.
Okay. And you saying nobody assisted you with the formatting or anything. You want us to believe that you did this formatting.
I had days with this. I had what felt like hours with that, if you understand what I'm saying. If I had more time to prepare for this commission, my submission to this committee would have looked very different.
Okay. So when you say you had days with it, when did because you get the email from Mr. Nkabinde on the 11th. When do you start with the affidavit? When do you speak to Mr. Perumal?
I spoke to Mr. Perumal, I think it was 2 days later. So when I say days, it's not that I had a week. It is in actual fact that I wasn't pressured. With my submission, I was under extreme pressure. I had to find annexures. I had to look for dates that I couldn't find. I had to backtrack. I had to think of things. I put things in my affidavit that I took out afterwards because it was totally wrong. The pressures were different, ma'am.
And it's a 5-pager compared to a 64-pager, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Do you have any preferred font type, Mr. Adams?
I normally open the laptop and whoever worked last on it, that's the font type I'll use, Commissioner.
Okay.
okay. Now,
Not the laptop, sorry, the desktop. Sorry.
the heading, referral to IDAC for investigation in terms of Section 27 of the NPA Act, capture of the Crime Intelligence Division by senior police officers, that is yours. You drafted it. You knew it was Section 27. They told you it's a Section 27.
When I was discussing the Section 27 with Mr. Perumal, I was taking notes because I didn't know what a Section 27 was. When I asked him, he said, look, it is like an affidavit. Right? You put your evidence on, but on top you make sure that you say referral to IDAC via Section 27. He said, make sure you say that.
Okay. So if you had, and we'll go through the affidavit again, if you had the affidavit ready for him, or, what was the purpose of having the meeting in Cape Town? And was it on the 21st of November? When was it?
Ma'am, you know, I like I say, I'm terrible with dates, and it's actually in my affidavit at the beginning that my date and timekeeping is terrible. So if you say it's the 21st, I'll accept it as the 21st.
I'm not saying it's the 21st. I'm looking at the date of your affidavit.
The affidavit.
Yes. So the date of the affidavit is 21 November 2024. When would you have met Mr. Perumal? Because you said you had the affidavit ready.
I'll tell you now.
And that would have been in November.
I'll tell you now. If you give me... can I confirm? I can.
That's fine. You can confirm it later, but it would have been in November.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and it would have been after you've prepared the affidavit, because you say when you met him, you handed him the envelope, and that was the first time you met him.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, but you had discussions about what needed to be in the affidavit and,
Yes,
and all
ma'am.
of that. So you meet with him. I know you said City Lodge or something like that. Advocate Ms. Ramsamy said that Mr. Perumal had complained to her when they went in January to say that there were limited hotels available in Cape Town, and he was upset that they had to meet a Member of Parliament at a Formula One. You say it was a City Lodge. Was it Formula One or City
No,
Lodge?
I don't think it was Formula One. I think he's wrong.
Okay. Yeah.
Let me put it to you like this. If I'm wrong, it's the hotel right opposite the airport.
Okay.
But I don't think that's a Formula One.
Yes.
I'm convinced that's a City Lodge.
Okay, it's immaterial. I just want to make sure that we're talking about the same consultation. So you met him at the hotel.
At the hotel.
And he's with Mr. Pariachi.
We were sitting down. Mr. Padiachi walked over. He introduced himself to me. And I think he had someone else, but I didn't watch him because I was busy with Mr. Perumal, but he wasn't part of the meeting.
Okay. And you then, what is the purpose of the meeting if you have the affidavit ready? What's going to happen?
What happened was, as I was speaking to Mr. Perumal, he said to me, we'll be in town soon. So what you can do is you can give me a little of the background of what you have, and you can give me the 27 referral. And that is what happened.
Did he say why they wouldn't be assisting you with the 27 referral? Did they say it needed to come from you without their assistance, or what was the...
There was no mention of the assistance at all. All he said is we can't touch it without the Section 27.
Okay, we can't touch it without the Section 27. Okay. And so you then give him the envelope. How long is the meeting?
It was less than an hour, maybe 40 minutes.
Okay, so not a lengthy...
No.
Okay, and what are you discussing?
I'm telling him about the forklift, and I'm telling him about Major General Madondo's security clearance. And I'm also telling him about other things that I've heard, and I'll try to get evidence of it, but unfortunately didn't. Or in this case, as I said here, fortunately didn't. And that was the nature of the investigation. And after I left, I was actually stupid about it, because I asked myself, you didn't even ask to see his ID, as in easy IDAC, but you've given him the referral. But when I met him at the NPA buildings, I realized, okay, it's kosher.
That would have been in January.
Second meeting?
Yeah.
Second, yeah, that.
Okay. So can we just go through the... I know it might be a difficult exercise because we're talking about you did this in November 2024, but let's try. So we are on page 512, paragraph 1. What you say in paragraph 1, that is all you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then we have paragraph 2, it's where you're referring to SAP's crime intelligence is in jeopardy, and you mention your growing concern that the head of crime intelligence, who is General Kumalo, Lushaba, Madondo, and other crime intelligence officers were busy with the systemic capture of the crime intelligence division. That was part of your affidavit.
I've even said that in Parliament already.
Okay. Then paragraph 3, my suspicion about General Kumalo and others became more clearer when I found an envelope pushed under my office door at Parliament which contained some crime intelligence procurement documents using secret funds of crime intelligence and vetting documents. Do you remember phrasing it this way?
That is me, ma'am. This is me.
Okay. Now, we know this reference to crime intelligence procurement documents. Are you referring to the forklift?
The
yeah?
forklift.
Okay. But you say you would have mentioned forklift itself.
I would have mentioned the actual forklift. I would have mentioned it, ma'am.
Okay.
Look, like I say, it's 20 months ago. I wouldn't be able to quote this thing verbatim even if I read it, but I would have mentioned the forklift. And again, this is why I sit with a case number now.
And you accept that there's no reference to forklift in this one?
None.
There's no reference to PKTT?
I went through this thing last night,
Okay.
scratching my head the whole time.
Okay. Now, insofar as I want to show you what Advocate Ramsamy says she recalls was in that section 27 affidavit that she saw on the 6th of December, the 5th of December, 2024, when she was preparing the 2813 application. And I've asked for her statement to be sent to you. So it's statement 1 of Advocate Ramsamy, and it is on page 15.
Oh, there. I thought it was coming up, yeah. Thank you, Mahbub. Page 15?
Yes, of her statement, paragraph 36. So she says, I have not seen the section 27 affidavit after 6 December 2024 after I returned it to Advocate Johnson. What I recall of its contents is based on my memory, but as the Commission will see, there are certain contemporaneous recordals by me that somewhat corroborate my recollection of the contents of the section 27 affidavit. For convenience, I will deal with the section 27 affidavit that I was given on 5 December 2024, which she says is the only one that she saw, compared to the section 27 affidavit that was flighted before the Commission in tabular form. Now, when she talks about the flighted one, it's the one in front of you, 512,
Yes, ma'am.
because we don't have the one that she says she saw on the 6th of December. But she says the one that we have at page 512 to 516 is not what she saw on 6 December 2024.
Ma'am, Advocate, I'm leaning towards her here because these things that are not in here. I don't know if someone wanted to minimize something for someone, but these things that, and as you might have noticed, Commissioners, I don't have the best memory, but let me be adamant about this. These things that I know I put in there.
I only got to hear today, you've said it repeatedly today, that your memory is failing you for the first time today.
So, Commissioner, you must understand what a miserable pensioner I'm going to make one day.
Okay, so let's go to page 16, which has the table. And if you look at the first table, that's the section 27 affidavit that she saw. And the second column, that is what you have in front of you at 512 to 516. So she says the one that she saw at number 1, it referred to your Orlando case numbers and the Valeria case number. And the one that's now on page 512 to 516 refers to the Cape Town case numbers. And there's no mention of Orlando and Valeria.
I don't think I ought to put the Orlando case numbers in. I don't remember that at any rate. I don't.
You don't think you would have put the...
I don't remember doing it.
Okay. So
I can let me attempt to help you, Advocate. I'm okay with the first page. I don't think there's anything wrong there.
Looking about page 512 now.
512.
Okay, of file 2. Yes.
But let me also be somewhat on the fence about this. I'm not going to say that she's wrong or that she's lying, but I don't remember that.
Okay, so it just insofar as the case numbers are concerned. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
You probably would have put in the case numbers.
Can I ask for permission that if Commissioner Kamalo, I want to blame you now, Commissioner
No,
Madlanga,
many others have made the same mistake.
if indeed Commissioner Madlanga releases me today, that I be given an allowance to make a supplementary, because I'm going to go sit and think about all of this. It's going to be very hard for me to just yes, no. It's 20 odd months ago. Will I be allowed that?
Let's see how things go. I can't make a decision about that.
Thank you, Commissioner.
You see, if you go to, just briefly, you don't even have to go to it, the docket for the Cape Town, the front cover, the case number is 1653. And in your document, it's missing the 1. So it's 653 instead of on page 512, that's section 27. So I would imagine that you would have gotten your case numbers right, but I also would imagine because you were under the impression that your Cape Town case dockets had been intercepted, you would rather refer to the most recent cases that you had lodged, which would be the Orlando and Valeria.
I accept that I missed the 1 in the front, but the Cape Town case numbers to me were more pressing because in my head, those had disappeared. So if you understand what I'm saying, Advocate, for me, that was the more pressing issue.
Okay. So then can we go back to her table and we'll see how far we can get. She says at item 2 that Major General Madondo failing a polygraph test while seeking security clearance was specifically mentioned, whereas in the one that's displayed here, 512 to 516, although vetting is mentioned, it is in a different context and no mention is made of a polygraph test. Now, do you recall if you would have said that Major General Madondo failed the polygraph test in your section 27?
I know that I verbally said that to the investigator on the day we met at the hotel. I'm going to struggle now because I know I mentioned vetting in here.
But you don't recall the polygraph?
I must be honest. I want to say yes, but I must be honest, I can't recall.
Okay, and then 3, she says allegations of procurement irregularity within crime intelligence regarding the procurement of a forklift. And she was adamant that the word forklift was in that affidavit.
Yes.
Are you also...
I'm leaning towards her.
Okay.
I don't want to say I'm leaning towards her, but I'm leaning towards her.
So you say you pretty certain that you would have said forklift?
Ma'am, I would bet the last cent in my pocket that I said forklift. I said forklift.
And also because those were the documents that you had. The forklift was
Yes.
documents that you were given to you. Okay. And then at number 4, she says multiple allegations of alleged criminal conduct by the political killings task team, such as the procurement of vehicles, excessive budget for laundry using the Secret Service account. Do you recall that?
Ma'am, this is even clearer to me than Easter. Because even at Parliament, and you can go check the recordings, I was gunning them about the R500,000 a year laundry bill for the PKTT, that they're spending 10,000 Rand a night per officer at 5-star hotels. I was at war with the portfolio over that. It would have been in my section 27. I mean, if nothing else, Commissioners, that if I'd given you a one-pager, that would have been in there.
Okay. And then 5, vehicles that were procured for the PKTT being used by the former Minister of Police, Mr. Cele, for his personal use.
That I know I spoke about. I don't want to lie, sit here and tell you I did it. I know I mentioned it. I did not have evidence at the time. So please allow me to be a little bit ambivalent about that one.
Okay. Then last one, number 6, purchasing of hotels or lodges and or properties using the Secret Service account.
Can I just take a minute, just a second? Advocate, will you allow me to leave a question mark there?
Okay.
Thank you.
So in actual fact, you can't assist us as to whether this 512 to 516 you say you're certain that you mentioned Forklift and PKTT and these allegations, but you don't know what this document is in, because there's some of it that was contained in what you recall handing over to Mr. Perumal, but some things that should be in there, allegations that you recall were in there, are not in there.
Advocate, if I can tell you honestly, I'm probably the most confused person in this room right now, because this is making me question my own sanity right now, but I know I put those things in there.
Okay. And what compounds it is that you confirm the signatures on the pages?
Yes, I can't speak for Councillor Solomon's. I can't speak for, but these appear to be my signatures.
Okay.
So,
Can I just check, Mr. Adams? You say you don't recall. What could you have been saying about the PKTT? In your affidavit, that must be clear. You must be clear about that.
I can tell you what I said about the PKTT.
Yes.
And I'm not going to mention the officer's name because I believe cases are being withdrawn today. But there was one gentleman who was a driver, who was promoted from a driver, which I believe to be a sergeant, to a lieutenant colonel. He skipped various ranks. And that I know I mentioned that. I asked to look into that. I asked.
You see, you yesterday you said that among other people that you discussed with is Professor Miss Dihas and Miss Mashale. There had been discussions about the stuff that eventually forms part of your complaints, and. I think it's a valid question. If you say you're not sure about what you said in that affidavit, or whether what Miss Ramsamy has summarized, whether that is what you said, you surely must be able to say, here's my complaint that I had at the time about the PKTT. That I would expect you to remember. The same with the buildings, where she says your complaint include the Secret Service fund being used to get buildings. I would expect you to remember clearly and say, I could never have said that, because the first time I heard about it was long after I had filed my affidavit. So I'm struggling with that you don't remember things as specific as that. And to remember, I'm not saying to you, you did put it in the affidavit. I'm even allowing for you saying, I could never have said that. I could not have spoken about the laundry expenditure and their budget, because it's not material that was within my knowledge in November. Yes, you may.
Oh, I thought...
I've raised two things with you. The one is the buildings, the properties being bought, and the other is about the PKTT expenditure. And if you have already dealt with the PKTT laundry expenditure, I'm happy to leave it, and you've given an answer. But the purchase of the buildings, you must remember whether you knew or didn't know, or had a gripe about it by November 2024.
Commissioner, the reason I'm not saying that I did is because I want to be sure. If I tell you that it's in there, like, for example, the forklift, it's supposed to be in there. But with the buildings, I know I had a hell of a fight about the buildings, but I'm not sure if I... And let me tell you, Commissioner, I'm again leaning towards Ms. Ransami, but I can't nail it and say yes. But I am strongly leaning towards what she's saying here.
Thank you.
I want to raise a few issues with you, Mr. Adams. I don't remember if I greeted you. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Looking at this affidavit on 512, you say the one that you provided to IDAC made mention of the PKTT and the forklift, right? And we can see that this one does not. Please don't nod. Please answer so that...
I'm acknowledging as you speak,
yes,
sir. That's for myself.
Yes.
Sorry, I thought you were still talking.
No,
Sorry,
that is fine. So This affidavit we're looking at then cannot be the one that you gave to IDAC on the 21st of November 2024, because according to you, the one that you gave to IDAC had in it PKTT and it had a reference to the forklift. Now, the follow-up question is, where does this one come from? The one that we're looking at, if it is not the one that you gave to IDAC in November 2024, where does this one come from?
I think Andrea Johnson is best placed to answer that.
But it has your signature.
That is what, it's making me feel like I'm insane.
Yes.
If indeed I was part of whatever's going on here, I would sit here and own this is my affidavit. Yes, no, I did not mention PKTT. No, I did not mention the forklift. But this thing, this is not everything I put in there.
Did you do 2 Section 27 affidavits?
I did not sign the one because I wasn't happy with it, because I put in words like heister instead of forklift. This is not what Chairperson, I hope you understand why I went to Wellington Police. Because I was in Wellington on the day this madness was happening, when I saw these things and I said, no man, none of this, I'm going to lay a charge.
Now, in October last year, this is important. In October last year, the people at IDAC, according to the emails that we have seen, were looking for a Section 27 affidavit, and they could not find it. But when this commission sought documents from IDAC, this is the document that was given to the commission. And it raises serious questions about IDAC and you, Mr. Adams. And the question in relation to you is this: did you, after October 2025, sign a Section 27 affidavit and backdate it?
No, Chairperson. And you will understand why later. You will understand why later.
Now, can you come up with a sensible explanation why we have before us an affidavit that you say is not the affidavit you signed in November 2024?
Chairperson, someone has altered this thing. I don't know why. I don't know how. Someone has taken out information that I wanted in here. Information that I'm passionate about. Information that landed me in Pietermaritzburg prison. I can't answer that, Chairperson.
How do you explain your signature? I can understand if somebody forged a document as you allege, or they did something sinister. Advocate Ngube took you through every page and asked you if those are your initials, and you confirmed that those are your initials. Now, if this is not the document that you signed on the 21st of November, 2024, where do those initials and the signature on the last page come from?
Commissioner Kumalo, I humbly submit to this commission that the IDAC must come and explain this.
No, they cannot explain your signature. All I want is you to explain your signature. They can explain other things. They can explain why what you say was in the affidavit is not there. But for now, I want you to focus on the signature, which you say is yours. Unless you say to us that is also a forgery.
I am leaning that way, and I think it is. But I don't want to make accusations. But this, look, advocate, sorry to say, look, I have a scribble of a signature, as you can see in my affidavit also.
But do you
I would assume somebody tampered.
Do you remember initialing this document that we see in front of us?
Advocate, if I was not aware of the fact that I included words like forklift, PKTT in my document, you could probably tell me this is my document, and I would agree with you if I was just flipping through it.
Forget about the content. Do you remember initialing this 6-page document? I think it's 5. Do you remember initialing this 5-page document and signing the last page?
Not the one before me, Advocate.
Not the one before.
Not the one before me. Not the one before me. There's been alterations made to this document. This is not the one that I submitted.
So you say somebody you don't know who altered this document?
Chairperson, that is clear from where I stand. Unless I've gone mad, unless I'm misreading the thing that I typed. But I'm not mad. I know it was in there. These are two things that, as I say, I'm passionate about. I've been fighting it, and it's not there, and it makes no sense. It makes no sense. I don't know why they would want to take it out.
Do the charges that you say you've laid against IDAC relate to this affidavit as well?
Chairperson, at the time when I see it, I don't think that I've gone through this affidavit. My charges relate to the way they handle my case.
Oh.
But when I speak to the investigating officer, this will certainly be one of the things that I raise.
Right, all right. Thank you.
Then can I take you to what Mr. Rapesu said he recalls was in the section 27, and that is on page 7 of his statement. We've also asked for those files to be given to you.
Oh,
so
okay.
we can
Thank you.
page 7. Do you have it, Mr. Adams?
I have it now.
Okay. So you'll see paragraph 21, the section 27 referral ISO, and the section 27 that served before the commission. He says, I record at the outset that I browsed the section 27 referral quickly and did not read it in full. I did not reach the last page and I did not see who the deponent was or how it had been commissioned. What follows is my best recollection. The section 27 referral ISO dealt substantially with the political killings task team, which I refer to as the PKTT. As best I recall, it referred to the PKTT being accommodated at a lavish hotel and to the cost of their laundry, to lavish motor vehicles said to have been purchased from a slush fund and used by the former Minister of Police, Becky Cele, and to properties and hotels in various provinces, including KwaZulu-Natal and Gauteng. I recall a reference in Gauteng to the Midrand or Kyalami area. Do you recall any of that before I continue?
The only thing here that I would actually, let me just make sure, sorry, ma'am. The only thing here that I would actually contest is the issue of Minister Tele, because I did not have evidence of that. And the hotels, of course, which I'm. But,
You're not sure.
He's essentially, he's the man is not, he's not wrong. He's not wrong.
Okay, then he says, it also dealt with political killings. In that regard, I recognize the name of a person, one Sergeant Dumisane Dlamini, whom I knew as he had been a witness of mine during my earlier service in KwaZulu-Natal, and I recall mentioning at the briefing that I knew him. Do you recall that?
I don't think that was in my submission, ma'am, but I know that he and I spoke at length about Sergeant Lamini, who's locked up, and he actually agreed with me that that man doesn't deserve prison. That's another one of those things that I'm busy with, but I don't think I would have put it in my affidavit. I don't think so.
Okay.
We spoke about it at length. I mean, I'm sure you heard the recording where his name comes up, and you'd obviously have heard that I'm invested in that, but I don't think I put that in there.
Okay, you don't think that you had it
I
in there?
I think maybe Mr. Rapesh is also remembering the conversation and thinking that. I don't want to speak for him, but I don't think I put that in there.
Because he says he remembers mentioning it at the briefing, and the briefing that he's referring to is the briefing that the team had on the 6th of December 2024, so before he met you.
Their
yes,
briefing. Okay.
Their briefing, their internal briefing where they were discussing your referral. Because remember, your referral comes through, the team gets assembled, the section 2813 is approved, and then Advocate Johnson calls a team meeting. So that's the first meeting of the investigating team and prosecutorial team. So he's referring to that briefing.
Can I answer you like this? He's the last one between the two of us to have seen the affidavit. If I may answer you like that. So I'm not going to argue with him from a point of certainty, but I wouldn't understand why I put that in there, because that was a totally separate fight. It was a totally separate fight.
But it was something that you were passionate about, and it had to do with the PKTT.
Yes. Actually, now that you put it like that, I might have mentioned him, but can I?
It's fine. I'm not going to press you for an answer.
I don't want to disagree with him, and because he might actually be right, but I don't want to disagree with him.
Yeah, I think I'm basing it off what you say is that it is something that you were passionate about. You discuss it at length at the meeting of 6 January 2025. insofar as the PKTT is concerned. And he then says it was in it, and he remembers discussing it at the briefing session and telling the team that he knows Dlamini from his work in KZN.
Yes, he told me that, that Sergeant Dlamini was a witness, and he believed the man to be innocent, and that was basically that kind of conversation.
Okay. Now, unless the commissioners want to ask anything else regarding the Section 27s?
Mr. Adams, during the tea break, can you please call your office, ask them to find the affidavit, the one that you signed and had commissioned, not this one which you disclaim. Can you please get them to send that document from your desktop or from your computer?
My desktop is at my house, Commissioner, not at my office. That's where I work from at night because I'm on the road all day. I can ask my wife gets home at 3. Look, I'm gonna try my level best to get it for you because this thing is irritating me like you won't believe.
Why we wanted that to happen today is because your testimony is going to be finalized today.
Commissioner?
So we wanted to engage with that document whilst you are in the witness stand.
Yes, Commissioner, I understand that.
Yeah.
And if I have the document, I'm even willing to come back because I'm more than willing to avail myself if you have another date for me. I understand you're also working under time constraints.
Yeah, please try. Let's see if you...
Let's see what you can do during the tea adjournment.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Or you move on.
So I'm still going to be here after tea time.
It depends on you.
Mr. Adams, you are certain that you submitted only one affidavit to IDAC, one Section 27.
I handed that document to Chief Investigator Perumal. We never spoke about the Section 27. Again, I'm confused, Commissioner.
And you say this was in Cape Town when you handed it to him. So Ms. Johnson would have been incorrect when she said, because this is what she testified, when she said you delivered your affidavit, your Section 27 affidavit to their Pretoria office at reception.
No, she's lying.
Okay.
I'm telling you categorically that she's lying.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. But you were in Johannesburg or in Gauteng in November, correct?
I'm in Gauteng every month. I don't know if that helps you, but I'm in Gauteng a lot.
No, I'm being specific here because you said that you met with the IGI in November.
Yes, ma'am.
And when would that have been?
That I can confirm. I can't lie to you about the date, but I was at his office.
Okay. I just want you to see whether it would have been after 21 November, because your affidavit is dated 21 November, or whether it was before, because in your affidavit you say in that same week you met with the IGI. So that would have been, I think it was the first week in November.
Sorry, you mean the statement?
In your statement, yes. In your statement that you submitted to the commission, you said that you met with the office of the IGI in November.
What I can do is I can tell you that the IGI's logbook will tell you exactly what time and date I was there, but it was the same week. It was the same week.
And then, so you say you didn't drop off any affidavit at all at IDAC's offices?
No, ma'am.
Had you ever been to IDAC's offices?
I was asked to sign a, what do they call the thing? The introduction to something.
The preamble?
I was asked to sign a preamble, and what day, I can't tell you, but it was maybe a few weeks later. And I told them I'm in Pretoria on this day, I can do that for you then. And as a matter of fact, the camera footage will tell you that on that day, I didn't even get out the car because I was running late. And so I called Chief Investigator Perumal. He met me at the door. I read through it, I signed it, and I drove off.
Okay.
What's the preamble to what?
To my statements, my A1s.
After your January meeting?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
That's what I was going to ask. So, but that would have been in 2025.
Yes, probably. I would. There, I couldn't help you, but that was the only time I ever went near their office. I've never been inside.
Well, we're trying to figure out when it would have been. It would have been after your meeting with them in Cape Town on the 6th of January.
Yes, ma'am. Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
The reference on page 32 of your statement, if you can perhaps just go there.
Maybe before if you're moving off completely.
My own statement, ma'am?
Commissioner Baloy has a question.
Yes.
Okay.
Can we then safely is it safe to assume that this affidavit at 512, the one that you have difficulty with, that you would have read it if it were your affidavit, because it bears your signature, you would have read it if it was given to you. You would have read it before you signed it, before you presented it to Ms. Solomons to sign for you, and having read it and seeing that there is no reference to the forklift complaint and the detail of the PKTT, that you would have taken issue with that if this was your affidavit. Because those were important issues for you.
Advocate Baloy, I promise you that if I look at the pages as I flip past it, it looks like mine. But there are details in there that I know I put in there. And I don't know to what end they were removed, but they were in there.
And you're certain that if this is your affidavit, then the forklift and PKTT allegations were removed from your affidavit?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Ms. Ng.
Thank you. On page 32 of your statement, which is file 1 of your files.
There's no page 32 in here, ma'am. In that
In your statement.
Yeah.
Oh.
File 1. Oh, witness bundle. Sorry. Another witness bundle.
Be your statement bundle.
I think witness bundle. Small witness bundles. Oh, wait. I think I got it. Oh, yeah.
32.
Paragraph.
Paragraph 245.
Yes, ma'am.
You say, I was contacted by the Office of the IGI in November 2024 during my efforts to have my criminal cases investigated by SAPS. An inquiry was made about the cases that I had lodged and asked whether I would attend their offices in Pretoria because the department had an interest in the cases that I had lodged with SAPS. During the same week, I visited the IGI's offices where I spent some time explaining the nature of my concerns. But you don't give us a date of when in November that would have been.
I'm sorry if I'm frustrating the work of this commission, but I'm terrible with dates and times. And when I went to the IGI, it was a simple appointment to express my concerns, hand over the document. Because in the phone call, his office asked me, do you have the documents? And I said, yes. Would you share it with us? I said, yes. So it wasn't a beacon that I can remember the date. If you're understanding what, it was just a meeting and that's the end of it.
Do you not keep a diary, Mr. Adams? As a public official and a member of parliament, I would assume that you keep a diary either because you claim for your travel expenses or you need to account for where you are during public time. Do you not keep a diary that sets out where you are? I mean, a meeting with an IGI is important enough for you to diarize it and know that on this date I must be at the IGI's offices. and what was discussed there. So do you not keep those things?
Excuse me.
Yes.
I generally, I save my appointments on my phone, and that device has left me. And the other reason that I wouldn't bother with a book diary is because I don't claim from Parliament, not a cent, ever. So if I have a meeting, let's say with you tomorrow, Commissioner, it will be on my phone for 9 o'clock with a reminder. But I don't write down in a book that I'm going there and I'm going there for travel claims and that. I don't get involved in that.
Okay.
And again, I apologize for frustrating your work because it's even frustrating to me. But like I say, the IGI's logs will tell you which day and which time I was there.
Mr. Adams, I just want to move on to another topic that I want to close off. There's a...
Before you do that, Mr. Adams, the conversations and meetings with the IGI, you said in the ad hoc committee that the IGI himself called you. You recall that was your testimony? Because in your statement, you say, in this statement that we are looking at in 245, you say you were contacted by the office, which could be anyone in that office. You do recall that in the ad hoc committee, you said Mr. Faisal himself did call you.
Yes, ma'am.
And when he called you, had you had any prior contact with him? Did you know who he was? Had you met him somewhere? Had someone ever referred you or mentioned him to you?
I had heard of the office of the IGIMM, and I actually made a mistake at the ad hoc, to be honest with you. When I'm writing it down a second time, I realized that. And I said to myself, but at the ad hoc, anyway. So what happens is I get a call from the office of the IGI. It was a female, I can't remember her name. And she told me the IGI had asked her to make contact with me.
But how could you make that kind of mistake? That it's the IGI himself that called you. It's a very specific person. It's a head of office and who holds a very important position. How could you possibly make a mistake that he called you?
It is, in my estimation, Commissioner Below, it was a very stupid mistake to make, a rudimentary one, but it was not intended to mislead anyone because the call was from the IGI, but by his office. So I did make it. It was a very stupid, a casual, stupid mistake. And I do own it. I accept that. And as a matter of fact, as I was writing my statement, I knew the contradiction, but I put down what actually happened.
But if you pick up the contradiction, why are you not explaining it in your statement? Because it is quite a serious allegation or fact, if it happened, that the IGI himself called you. That's very important. And if at the time of drafting your statement, you realize that I made a mistake, why are you not correcting that in the statement?
I didn't think of the affidavit, my affidavit to you, as being something that, well, it shouldn't contradict what I said at the ad hoc, but I made a mistake at the ad hoc. And in hindsight, and with what you've taught me now, I should have actually corrected myself in the affidavit.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry about that, Commissioner.
No, you don't. It's okay.
No,
I guess we'll have to make our conclusions about it. It's difficult, I must say, speaking for myself.
And that's why I apologize, because I'm giving you extra work. I'm sorry, Commissioner.
It's very difficult for me to accept, let me say, to accept that nearly a year later, in your statement to us, you say, oh, I made a mistake back then when I said it was the IGI, and one has to decide what do we do with that, because you either lied to the ad hoc committee, and that's the impression you left them with, and or you're lying to us now when you say I made a mistake back then. One of these two institutions must hold you to have lied under oath. You accept that?
What I do accept, Commissioner, is that I made a mistake in front of the ad hoc committee, and I'm here admitting to the mistake and owning up to it and telling you that this is the correct version. I didn't. There's nothing in it for me to say anything like that. I made a genuine, stupid, sloppy mistake, and I own it. I own the mistake. And I apologize to you for giving you another conclusion to have to reach.
Well, I know you say there's nothing in it for you. I want to suggest one possible explanation is you might have now realized, oops, I shouldn't have said that in the ad hoc committee. I shouldn't have disclosed that it's the IGI himself that called me, because it is problematic that the IGI would have called you and you would have to explain that conversation. How did it come about that he knew to contact you? So you might have belatedly realized that is problematic and I need to fix it. That's one possible explanation.
No, definitely, Commissioner. And
okay, you accept that. Okay. All right, thank you. Lastly, before we leave the section 27 affidavit, and I accept that you have difficulties with it, as you have described it. In that paragraph 1, you express that you do not trust General Patekile. You do remember that was your position on day 1. So somehow, whoever may have doctored or interfered with your original affidavit at IDAC to create this, which, do you have it in front of you?
I have it in front of me.
Yes. Whoever might have rewritten your affidavit seems at paragraph 1 to have gotten it right, because you say you didn't trust, they say you said you don't trust General Patekile, and that's something that you repeated. That alone seems to suggest, well, this is your affidavit, actually, still, because there are things that are common to what you have said in the box and what is contained in here. What do you want to say anything about it?
There is so much about this affidavit that I would say yes. I'm questioning the parts that were omitted. If you understand what I'm getting at, Commissioner. The easy thing would be, yes, this is my affidavit. No, Ransami is mad. She's over here. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that there's things that something's not right here.
Okay. And when you say you didn't trust General Patekile, what is the basis for that? Especially, and I want to limit it to when it comes to the handling of dockets. What history did you have that creates a basis or a reasonable basis for you to hold him in distrust?
I've always had a very cordial relationship with the General. I mean, the General would call me, well, I would call him more often, excuse me. So when I'm told that the provincial officers come to collect your dockets, then that's not their job, they're not supposed to. I'm under the impression that the head of the provincial office knows about it. So I didn't trust him with that. It's not that the General did anything to me personally, but something was wrong in the provincial office, and I decided not to speak to him further about that.
So it was not because there's a history that made you, with him, that made you distrust him. It was just about these dockets.
I have lauded General Patekile when he's done right, and I have criticized him when I felt he was wrong. But it was always fair in my view. When the man does right, but just on this one issue, I thought I couldn't trust him on this.
Thank you.
But if I understood what you said in your evidence yesterday, it's that it was more his response to you when you told him what you had been informed about your dockets, and he said he's going to investigate it, and you didn't. You weren't happy with his response. You didn't mention anything about not trusting him.
No, ma'am. I was stating the mood in the room, if you will, that I wasn't happy with his response. But the mistrust began as soon as I heard it was the provincial office. It was not a case of Patekile as anything. It's just I don't trust him on this issue. If I'm helping you there with the answer.
Yes, but you didn't know that the files had moved yet when you called him. Remember, the note on the diary shows that the files moved to the PC on the 31st. You said you called him on the 30th of October.
I'm confused.
And he said to you he's going to investigate.
I'm confused. I understand what you're saying about the notes and the OB entries, if you will. Did I call him?
Remember, you said you
you
didn't
just
get
refer
your
me to the
CAS
page, please,
numbers.
ma'am?
You didn't get your CAS numbers.
ma'am.
And then you get told by General Lincoln that your dockets are being intercepted. He didn't tell you that they'd been transferred.
No.
Yes. You call the PC and you're not happy that with his response.
Yes, ma'am.
That's what you say. So that's what I'm saying. Your sequencing is out.
No. So essentially, not happy with his response and mistrusting him on the issue is essentially the same thing for me.
Okay, so you mistrust him because of the response that he gives you. What?
Yes, ma'am. I expected more urgency on something like that. I did, and therefore I mistrusted him.
But I think you accepted yesterday that his response was there was nothing wrong with his response to you.
That was yesterday, ma'am. This thing was written 2 years ago. Yesterday, I accepted that, you know what, I was in a rush. This thing wasn't written yesterday. Just to put it, this is once I'm getting my time sequence right. But on that day, yes, after being schooled yesterday for the first time, I own it. Yes.
Okay, I think when you do that, when we engage you like that, then you must accept it. You must say, look, I was wrong here, so that we don't have this, because now every time it's going in circles, we confront you with an allegation in your statement. You stick to it, even though the day before you had conceded the point.
No, my time sequence was wrong. As you said it, you were right, but I didn't have the understanding. So yeah, I accept.
Okay. Then I want to just go back before we go to the next topic. There's an issue that we dealt with yesterday, again, regarding your time, your sequence. And it's a media clip, because you do quite a few of those. So there's a media clip that we want to play, and then I want to engage you on what you said in that clip.
Been contacted by the IDAC.
Oh, it's poor.
I've been contacted by the IDAC. I'd given the file to the IDAC. I was then contacted by the Inspector General for Intelligence. I gave him what I had left. And now I'm getting calls from people claiming to be policemen, wanting to meet wherever. And I said, you know what, where are you from, Johannesburg? I'll come to Johannesburg. I'm more than happy to meet you at your office. I never got a return call. Mkwanazi must not be selective in how he presents information, sir. Here's my thing. I've already given my disclosure to the IDAC. Do I need a parallel investigation? I think not. I don't know who to trust right here. This is the sad part.
So you do confirm, though, that investigators did call you to try and get more information. You just didn't trust them because you were not sure if they were legitimate.
I'd already handed over my file to the IDAC. I didn't want to meet another investigator because I didn't know who was covering for what. I didn't know who.
Okay. Now, that is incorrect. I'm putting that to you. Can we go to, so that I can take you through the chronology again on this aspect. Page 3856 of 9B. 3856. The person, the police officer that you're referring to there is Colonel Philip that had called you, right? That you say you didn't trust. Get 9B, page 3856.
Thank you, sir.
Do you have it?
I do.
Okay. I want you to remember your evidence yesterday on page 3856. The table there, you said you don't dispute the table, what's set out in that table. Now, on the 2nd of November, he does the introduction. We've been through that. 3rd, you have engagements with him throughout the beginning of November. And you'll see that the last engagement is on the 9th of November 2024. Mr. Adams indicated that he has eventually addressed the challenges at his residence and will call Colonel Phillip by the end of the week to confirm when he, Mr. Adams, will be coming to Joburg. 15 November, outgoing call to Mr. Adams, no answer. So the last engagement would have been 9 November. At this stage, there's no IDAC, if we are to believe the email from you sending the email to the minister on the 10th of November, the minister's office on the 10th of November, and Mr. Nkabinde responding on the 11th, and the letter saying that IDAC must investigate. You've been through that. All of that is 10 and 11 November. So when you say in that clip that you were already engaged with the IDAC when Colonel Phillip called you, that's not true.
Can I just see the date on that thing, man? Because I'm
Which date?
Of that clip, please.
Of the clip with Clement.
Yes, please. Just the
Okay.
date. I don't need to see the clip. I've kind of got a frame of what.
See if we have the date of the clip. But
Okay. If you can.
I think the more important thing is what you're saying in the clip about the history.
No, I
Yeah.
understand that. And I'm just trying to think what I was doing, thinking at that time.
Okay.
My,
We'll try and get the date for you.
or alternatively, commissioners, may I make a supplementary after consultation with my attorney about that one, if at all possible?
Can you just please keep a running list of all?
No, there's only two. Only two. I won't flood the commission.
Just in case.
No, I won't
because,
flood the commission, no.
There was one and now there's two.
It's only two.
So
I'll
it's-
stop
it's
right
on
there.
that basis that I should just keep a running list, and then at the end you raise those with us, and a decision will be taken.
Okay, thank you,
Thank you.
thank you, Commissioner. Can you just tell me what that is marked
Yes.
as so I can write it down?
I'll get the date for you, but of that clip. What I want to address with you is what you say in that clip is that when Colonel Phillip called you, you were already engaged with the IGI and with IDAC. That can't be, because Colonel Phillip's engagement with you ends on the 9th of November. By the 9th of November, there's no IDAC. IDAC only comes in on the 10th, actually on the 11th, because you write an email to the minister on the 10th of November complaining about the fact that your case won't be, you want an independent investigator, right?
100%.
So that is incorrect what you're saying in that clip.
Yes, on the face of it, I will accept that, and that is why I'm asking just for time, just to pick, because I mean it's the first time that I see the clip in this context.
Okay. What I want to know is, are you sure that your engagement with IDAC only started after your email to the minister and the minister's letter to IDAC?
I can confirm that.
Okay. There was nothing discussed prior to that?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And with the IGI, was it a parallel process? So when Colonel Phillip called you, were you already engaged with the IGI?
I'm actually now, and this is maybe where the IGI's logbook is going to be very important, thinking that maybe I should request what date I was there, because from what I'm saying there, I'm now not convinced that I met the IGI afterwards. If you understand what I'm saying.
Afterwards, when? When you say afterwards, you need to give us a point in
So
time.
my version of events of 2 years ago is I met with IDAC and then the IGI. I'm just questioning myself now if it happened that way. So that's what I'm saying. I'm going to apply for permission from the IGI's office just to tell me what day and what time I was there, and then I'll be able to give you a proper supplementary, if that's okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now, with the IGI, that wasn't your only engagements with the IGI. In 2025, there's further engagements because you wanted a copy of the IGI's report.
Yes, ma'am.
How did you become aware that the IGI was investigating crime intelligence?
I was the complainant in the matter. I had handed him some of the documentation that he had, and I would regularly, well, not regularly, I would email him to ask if there's been any updates. And then one day, brazenly and out of frustration, I asked if the report, I know he confirmed that he concluded his report was with the minister. I asked if I may have a copy of the report. He said no. I emailed the minister. I asked the minister if he'd bring the report to the portfolio. The minister never replied. Now it's at this stage, and I'm sorry to be speaking so long on limited time. It's at this stage I'm thinking if the minister doesn't want to share this report or to deal with whoever's been doing what, if any findings have been made, then the minister's part of it. And that of me was, luckily I didn't say it to anyone. It was a blunder. It was a massive blunder.
Then the minister is part of what? What are you?
Of the cover up in my head, in my view.
Which cover up now? Because you're now with IDAC and you're with the IGI. So you were aware that both were investigating. Did you think that your complaints were being investigated by the IGI and IDAC, right? You were running the IDAC process as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, why would you think that the minister is involved in the cover-up?
In my view, if there is proof of corruption, I felt that the place that it must be mentioned is in the police portfolio because that's where it was raised. So I'm emailing the minister to ask him if he's going to bring the report to us as a committee, and the minister never responded. And to me, that was a little bit offish.
But didn't you first ask the IGI for a copy of the report?
Yes.
And then the response was that they completed the investigation.
No, if I'm right, I was first told the investigation is complete. The report is with the minister. Then I emailed the IGI, I said, am I allowed a copy of the report? And he said, no. And then I emailed the minister and asked him if he'd bring the report, because now I know I'm not allowed a copy, but if the minister will bring the report to the portfolio.
Okay, so, and did you eventually get to the report?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
To this day.
The minister's office didn't respond to you?
His office didn't respond to that email.
Okay. So you are the complainant in that?
Yes,
the IGI process as well?
I am.
Okay. And that also started in November of 2024?
Like I said, yes, but I'm just going to ask them for their logs to confirm the day I was there.
Do you know if the office of the minister had any involvement in your complaint to the IGI being initiated, well, whether it was investigated at the instance of the minister?
It was not mentioned to me, and I didn't ask. I wasn't told that the minister's instruction. No, I wasn't told anything like that.
Called by the office of the IGI, surely you must have asked, how do you know that I have a complaint about crime intelligence? They must have told you some background to, we are calling you, we've heard you've laid a complaint, whether with IDAC or whoever, and this is where we know it from, and you want to verify that you're speaking to the right person. Surely.
Thank you, Commissioner. When I was speaking to this lady, she gave me an office number, she gave me an address, a physical address, and that to me was okay. And when I got there and I was introduced to the IGI, Mr. Fadiel, it actually occurred to me, I asked him, how did you know about this? And he laughed and he said, we are intelligence. And I wasn't gonna question deeper than that. I don't know if they saw it on social media because I made a big boah about my dockets going missing. I don't know. And as the advocate infers, did the minister's office get involved? I can't answer that.
So when you flew up to Pretoria, you knew that you're going to be meeting the IGI himself because he met you.
No, I was invited to his office. I was met at security. A lady came down to me to fetch me at the gate. She took me into a room. The IGI was sitting and having coffee. He told me, Advocate Governor is just a few minutes late. If you'll have a cup of tea with me. We sat. We just started sipping the tea when the advocate came. And he said to me, right, she will be handling you. But I had explained to him the nature of my concerns. And I was taken into a room with Advocate Governor and everything else flowed from there.
And you say at that point, the only body that had the complaint, your complaint, was the minister's office. At the point when you get this call?
Yes.
From the IGI's office?
The minister's office and the National Commissioner's office. No one else knew about it.
When did you inform? You're mentioning the National Commissioner's office for the first time, unless I have missed it. When and how did you put your complaints, as we have them now, and as you put them to the minister? When and how did you put them to the National Commissioner?
I'm just trying to gather my thoughts on that issue, but I know I sent an email to him complaining about You're making me think now. Did I send that email? No. No. The email refers to me speaking to the minister where I tell him your national commission is not helping. I only sent it to the minister's office. Sorry, Advocate Paloy, I almost sent you in the wrong direction. Thank you for the question.
So at the time that you get a call from the IGI's office, the only people who are sitting with your complaint is the minister's office?
Only the minister's office.
Okay, thank you.
Can you just clarify this? After the letter from Mr. Nkabinde, let me not say from the minister's office, 11 November 2024, and they told you that they'll be referring your complaint to IDAC.
Yes, sir.
Did you have any further engagements with the minister's office regarding the crime intelligence issues and PKTT issues?
The only one was I became aware of a rumor, and it's only a rumor. I'm not throwing shade at anyone, that there was a plot or plan to arrest the minister if he tried to what's the word? To do away with the PKTT. That was a rumor that I heard. I called Mr. Nkabinde that day, the morning, and I said, are they really going to arrest the minister? Because as everybody knows, my feeling is still the same. The PKTT is overfunded, the AGU is getting too little. I said to him, are they arresting the minister over the PKTT? And he said, listen, we've heard. I don't want to say too much, but we are taking it seriously, but the minister's done nothing wrong. That was the only discussion I had with him.
Let me ask it differently. After you submitted your Section 27 affidavit to IDAC, did you go back to the minister's office to say, I have now submitted my affidavit to IDAC?
No, Commissioner Kamara.
You did not?
I did not.
And you did not say to them, I have now met with the IG's office?
No, Commissioner, that I didn't do.
So they don't know what you did after you received the letter of 11 November 2024?
What I did is I told the police portfolio that I'd met with the IG's office and I'd handed in the document.
No, I'm focusing only on the minister's office.
No, not with the minister's office.
So they don't know that you submitted a complaint to IDAC?
No.
Or at least you didn't tell them?
No, let's put it like that. I didn't tell them.
But you knew that the minister's office had asked IDAC to investigate your matter?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Chair, I see it's 11:01. Shall we take the...
Let's adjourn and resume at 11:30. And please, the desktop issue and your 27 affidavit.